I'm also sorry for what I'm about to do. Because nothing will ever change how I feel about you guys. But Daddy is weak and needs to know.
Dr. Christopher Taub, probably the most realistic adaptation of a real doctor in House. He's the least interesting out of all the candidates from season 4. I'm sure most people just look straight past him, opting to draw their eyes to 13, Kuttner, and House's personal favorite, the cutthroat bitch. He was just kind of in the bunch. Easy to overlook and easy to forget. Yet, time came for House to choose his candidates. House still chose him to be part of his team. As per Cuddy's advice, he'd be the one to challenge your ideas. This comes from what Taub represents in the show. When he's chosen to be the face of Princeton Plainsboro Teaching Hospital, it symbolizes honor, stoicism, and heroism, all traits that come from a credible hospital. And Taub's face is one of a credible doctor. But just beneath that face lies a man who House thought would be the most troubling to poke into. From seasons 4 through 8, it seems the doctor who can't catch a break the most from House's games is Taub. Kuttner, for the most part, went along with and enjoyed the shenanigans. House would cut 13 a break because he had her all figured out quickly. Foreman was, well, Foreman, and House is a big damn racist.
Why should I argue? You'll just overrule me.
Enough! Get a pony or a watermelon farm.
House.
And Chase was the prodigal son, most like House than anyone else. The story for Taub was a little more intimate and rough. House was making it a personal goal to poke growth within Taub as a severely flawed man who doesn't know he's someone like House himself, someone who just wants to do the world some good. To start off the story of Taub, we should start at the beginning. When Taub was starting out in college, his life wasn't so easy. A couple times throughout the show, it's mentioned that Taub has attempted suicide before. At first, the subject angers him. He thinks that anyone who attempts it as well is weak and foolish. They remind him too much of himself. But as his character develops, we see him change to become more sympathetic and understanding about the topic, even having his judgment warped a little because of his caring and nurturing side. But this small detail about him sets up the theme for his character. While the main plot is happening and everyone scrambles to save a patient, the side plot of Taub's story develops to show that he often defaults to his vices that fill him with regret and self-hatred. The reason Taub joined House's team was because he needed to escape his old life. He described his surgeries as erotic and alluring, saying that every tummy tuck he did excited his brain. After having an affair with a client, he realized something about his life had to change. He joined House's team and thought everything would be fine for a while, but through seeing the patients he'd deal with, the emotional involvement, and how saving people's lives made him feel, he realized that he'd eventually have to confront what he'd done. Alone, Taub probably would have lived a lie to his wife. Once House caught wind of Taub's story, he'd become the prime candidate for trickery in games. When someone was needed to stay overnight to do dirty work, Taub was the first pick. And when someone had to perform extra duties and tests, House always went to Taub. With his extreme absence from home, Taub's wife was becoming antsy. She would get angry at what House was doing to her husband. The rising tension, along with the fact that his wife was keeping a secret from him, made Taub think his wife was also having an affair. As someone who did the same, his mind immediately went down that path. He began thinking he couldn't escape his past unless he confronted it, and so he did. While he was expecting the worst, Taub's wife forgave him, and after that, he felt a weight lifted from him. But this was only halfway from his transformation from selfish to selfless. Seeing forgiveness was possible set his guilt at rest for a while, until House went completely crazy and got himself institutionalized. At this point, Taub went back to his old career. He moped around depressed that he was back where he started instead of saving lives. But House still had an impact on him. He found joy in doing what he did, but nothing else. He was resuming to clean around this time. No tucking tummies for pleasure. But when House came back, Taub was given a lot to think about. Sure, with a new perspective, he could make this life work out well for him. Pay was good, he was a new man, and he didn't have anything to run away from. But the opportunity to mean something greater than making people beautiful was calling. At heart, Taub was still an honorable, stoic, and selfless as he seemed. It's just a little bit deeper than that. He's a severely flawed man and has selfish desires. Obviously, he opted to go back on House's team for the sake of the plot, where his life went along as normal, until the team had an interesting case. A woman came in, and the team found out she had an open relationship. It sparked a lot of conversation about Taub's personal life and how a nurse was flirting with him. He brushed it off, saying that he was happy and he didn't need his vices anymore. That was until he meagerly mentioned the situation to his wife while talking about work, to which she began retaliating a little. She got upset at Taub for bringing it up, asked him who he was seeing, to which he got really defensive, saying that he didn't need anyone else. At the end, she sighs and, shockingly, gives Taub a set of rules he had to follow, submitting to his desires as a scandalous husband. This put Taub to the test. He had the chance to prove his loyalty to his wife and to prove to everyone that he was a changed man. But obviously, Taub hadn't really learned his lesson yet, and he shows up the next day saying he has a date with that nurse who was flirting with him. It goes to show that if given the opportunity, Taub will still jump to get it at this point in time. While he's been forgiven and he feels relief at this, Taub still acts selfishly. He's going against his guilt because of how badly he wants these vices. He feels like he can't do it alone, and he feels like his wife alone also isn't cutting it for him. But ultimately, his wife tells him to stop because she don't think her heart can take it, to which, at first, Taub agrees, but deep down, Taub knows who he is. And when his wife enters a support group to deal with who he is, Taub can't handle the guilt. He decides that he wants to be who he is. It's a man with an uncontrollable urge, and to be uncontrollable, he can't have anything holding him back. He decides, for her own good, to divorce his wife, and he moves in with Foreman shortly after, as he has no place to stay. From there, we see Taub digress into who he really is. One night, he's on the couch with that one hot nurse he was flirting with, and the next, he's with his old wife. This behavior catches him in a lot of trouble, as he realizes at the end of Season 7, he's now got the nurse and his ex-wife pregnant, despite the latter not wanting to have children. Again, Taub has acted out erratically, and he feels guilt for what he's done. 2 women he's drastically changed the lives of because he can't control himself. This is how Taub has always been. He does something stupid, feels really guilty and foolish for it, then turns around and does it again. He knows who he is. He can't escape it. He wants to be better, as the hospital says he is, but he just can't. The outside world sees him as this reliable man who represents everything good in a hospital, but he can't escape the person inside of him, someone who does the exact opposite of the honor, loyalty, and pride you need in a doctor. After House went to jail and he was out of a job at PPTH again, Taub was lost. The way he felt when he saved a life and made someone else feel good was something he would start missing. Even though the man pushed him past the point of return and had ruined his personal life, House made Taub realize how important his life could be. Taub knew what he wanted to do. He knew what he wanted to be. He was starting to understand what his life could be. After spending so long running away and hiding from who he was, Taub was finally ready to confront his life, and it all came to a head in Season 8. Who Taub used to be was a scandalous man who wanted to see the truth despite his better judgment. He was nervous, paranoid, and scared of who he really was. But when House shows Taub a DNA test to see how loyal his partners really were, he denies that closure. He begins feeling more confident about himself. When he takes self-defense classes and shuts down all of House's attempts, he feels stronger and more capable. And while everyone else is fighting for a small promotion, Taub sees through the game and takes the spot in the best way he knows how. He confronts himself on his own, without having to have House pressure him into doing so. He steps up to take care of both children, the way he knows he has to. And after being through everything he has been with House, he's ready to lie in it. And at the end of the series, perhaps Taub feels like he's finally a doctor who's worthy of being the face of hope.
Seen it. It was perfect.